This peach tree is loaded with fruit, but not all of it is worth keeping. Most branches are covered in big, delicious fruit, but a few of them, they're pretty disappointing. Today I'm sharing the top 5 peach tree mistakes, including one I made even though I thought I knew better. I'm Angela from Growing in the Garden. My garden's in Mesa, Arizona. I want to help you succeed even if you're gardening in tough conditions. Mistake number 1, choosing the wrong variety for your climate. Peach trees aren't a one-size-fits-all. Each variety has specific chill hours, or the number of cold hours it needs during the winter in order to set fruit. If you plant a tree that requires more chill hours than your climate provides, you might get lots of leaves, but no peaches. In the Phoenix Valley, we get around 300 or 400 chill hours a year. This Florida Prince requires 150, so it's almost guaranteed to set fruit every year. So wherever you live, look for local growers and trusted nurseries. That's the best way to know which type of tree to plant. Don't buy fruit trees online unless you're confident they'll grow in your area. Not sure where to start? Check with your local extension office. They should have a list of fruit trees that grow well in your area. If you live here in the low desert, head to my website. I list all of the best varieties for our climate. If you buy locally, you'll be able to inspect the tree and make sure that it's grafted properly, that it's young and healthy. The nursery will be able to tell you if it requires a second tree for pollination. Mistake number 2, planting incorrectly. Plant at the wrong time, too deeply, or in the wrong place. You're setting that tree up to fail. The best time to plant bare root trees is in early spring. If you're planting container plants, check the roots first and then plant in the fall or early spring. When you check the roots, you're checking to see if they're circling the pot. If that plant has been in the pot too long, it's become root bound. It will be difficult for it to transition to your garden. That's why it's often best to plant bare root trees where you can inspect the roots and you know they are healthy and ready to grow. It might seem like you need to dig a deep hole, but planting too deeply causes lots of problems with the graft. It's better to dig a shallow hole, just the depth of the roots, and make it wide. That way those roots can spread out and it's not buried too deeply. And you might think you're helping the tree by filling that hole with lots of rich compost, but it's actually hurting the tree. Those roots will want to stay in that nice protected area instead of branching out and growing and finding more places for nutrients. Fill it back with native soil and then put that compost on top. It will feed the soil from the top down. Peach trees need sunlight to produce fruit. Choose an area that gets abundant sunlight, even here in the low desert. Young trees might need shade to help them get through that first summer or two, but once they're established, you shouldn't need shade. Mistake number 3, not pruning. It might seem counterintuitive, but an initial hard prune on a young tree to knee height is the best thing you can do for your tree. The first few years are formative for that tree. You'll focus on creating an open center. Prune each winter when the tree is dormant. Focus on removing dead, damaged, and crossing branches. You can also do a light prune in the summer to control the size. Need step-by-step help? The book, Grow a Little Fruit Tree, is a valuable resource. I use it all the time. It explains pruning in a way that's easy to understand and very practical for the backyard home grower. Mistake number 4, skipping thinning or not doing enough. This is the problem I had this year. I thinned this tree once and then again, but then as the fruit started to ripen, I noticed several branches that didn't get thinned at all. Now I have several branches full of small, not as good fruit compared to the rest of the big, juicy, delicious peaches I have on the rest of the tree. If I'd thinned this down to 1 peach, I'd have 1 delicious peach. Instead, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small, not very good fruit. This is the difference between thinning and not thinning. So how do we fix it? It's too late now, but in early spring, when the fruit is about the size of a dime, thin each fruit to about 6 inches apart. That gives each peach enough room to grow. If you're doing it correctly, you're removing about 75% of the fruit that's on the tree. Thin it once and then come back in a week or two and thin it again. And then do what I didn't do this year. Come back one more time for a final thinning to make sure you got everything. Mistake number 5, not keeping your tree healthy. A healthy tree is the best defense against pests, diseases, and disappointing harvests. Proper care all year long with deep, infrequent water, pruning correctly, thinning, all of that takes place months before your first peach is ripe. Once your tree is established, focus on watering deeply less often. Provide a thick layer of mulch. Feed your trees in early spring. Prune your trees at the beginning of the season. Thin your peaches. All of those steps will keep your tree healthy and less inviting to pests. And a healthy tree can better ward off and fight against pests and common diseases. This was a good year for peaches overall, but the difference between the branches I thinned and the ones I didn't is shocking. I have big, delicious fruit, some of the best I've grown on those branches, and really small, disappointing fruit on the other. For the best peaches, leave them on the tree as long as possible. If birds are an issue, there are a few things you can do. Pick them a little bit early and take them inside to finish ripening. Wrap them in organza bags to help protect them from the birds, or let the birds have a few, and then I feed those pecked peaches to my chickens and my in-bed vermicomposting bins. It's time to get most of these peaches off the tree, but we've been enjoying peaches for breakfast and dessert all week. We like to preserve the extras by making jam, freeze drying. I also love taking bags of peaches around to my neighbors. Do what you can to avoid these 5 mistakes. These are big ones. If you get these right, you are almost guaranteed beautiful, delicious peaches. Remember, if you need help or have more questions, go to my website. Thank you so much for watching. You need to that makes sense? Oh, the leaf right there. And you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of failure. Is that too strong?